Hello, welcome to Balance Act. My name is Juan. I'm sorry for the long hiatus. I was in the middle of a move. Now I moved and all settled in. So let's continue. So today I wanted to discuss some forms of some. I'm about to say scripting, but rather forms of journaling that I've been experimenting with over the past few months. So I journal every day. It's part of my what I call my morning route or morning routine. But I call it my morning route because I like to think of it as my morning route to success, which really has become my morning route to well-being or happiness. Honestly, not so much about success. I truly do believe that success is a separate road from happiness. You could be successful and not be happy. You could be quite happy without success. So one of the main forms of journaling that I use, honestly, is just, well, journaling, just writing down my thoughts. And I find this to be very helpful for getting out maybe negative thoughts. Like I got a lot of just ramblings in my head, day to day stuff, maybe observing my day to day, how I'm doing things, how I'm feeling. I think it's a good measure for how you're feeling within the day is doing that kind of journaling. Another form of journaling I've been experimenting with would be scripting. So for me, scripting has been quite wonderful, and I've done an episode on scripting before, and was introduced to it by Natasha Graziano. She's a influencer I follow online. Really, really good. I do recommend her. And scripting is basically taking your idea of what you want your future to be and then writing about it or journaling about it as if you're there. Now, scripting actually can be done several different ways from what I'm discovering. I do my own personal way of doing it, which is basically the way I just described it. So I just imagine myself in the future that I want for myself. So, like, what is it like to be there? What does it feel like? What are the things I'm doing? What are the relationships I have? What are the business dealings that I have? How do I feel about other people? How do I feel about myself? And I imagine myself there in the future that I am working towards and how it feels to be there. Then I actually feel as if everything I'm trying to accomplish right now has already been accomplished. And it's absolutely wonderful, wonderful feeling. And sometimes that feeling, you carry it through the day. So if I do it during the daytime, I actually carry it through my day. It's really nice. I have now gotten to the habit of doing it at night, which is really, really good. It's a really good way for me to end my night. I do a little bit of a cleansing ceremony at night. It's a spiritual practice that I picked up from Marianne DeMarco. And so basically, I just kind of pray to God or pray to my spirit guides, and I light a candle and I allow the smoke of the candle to kind of cleanse me, so to speak. It's very, very woo woo. Don't recommend it if you're not into that kind of stuff, but it works for me. It's basically just gets my mentality clear and allows me to feel nice and content and connected to God, because I am praying to God. Then after I do that, I go ahead and I script. So I go ahead and bring out my scripting journal. I have a separate journal for scripting. Now I script every night, and I just write in the journal as if I'm in the future, but the future is now. So scripting really, really works well for me. From Gabby Bernstein, I picked up this journaling technique called Rage on the Page. So Rage on the Page is pretty dope. It's a kind of a stream of conscious form of journaling, but you focus very much on what's bothering you, what's locked inside of you that you're rageful about, what you're angry about, what resentments that you're holding on to or regrets you're holding on to that you now want to express, but in a very aggressive, rageful way. You just write down on the page. What she recommends doing is, which is what I do, is listening to a little bit of bilateral or binaural music. And she recommends doing 20 minutes. I do between 5 to 20 minutes, depending on how much time I have. I normally only do it in the morning, but I don't do it every morning. I'll do it routinely. I only do it when I feel like I need to do it. Like I feel like I'm really stuck on something, if I'm really angry about something, or if I'm in a very negative place, I'll rage on the page. So you get your binaural music playing. You set your timer for however long you plan on doing the rage on the page. Once again, she recommends 20 minutes. You turn your phone or your timer over, so you're not looking at the timer constantly. So you ignore the timer. Just trust that it'll go off when it's time for you to stop. And then you go into a stream of conscious state, which basically means you just write without thinking. Just write without thinking. Just rage on the page on the top, maybe the date, and then just write without thinking and see what comes up. She recommends going there if you can, and you should probably do it on a subject at first. Like I no longer do it on a specific subject because I know how to tap into my own rage. I know what that feels like, and I just allow my body, my mind to express itself. But you could do it on a certain subject, like maybe a relationship that's bothering you or a workmate that's really getting your nerves, and you just express yourself about the specific situation or the person or the thing that you're feeling rage towards. She said if you're having problems doing it, because sometimes there's certain social cues or personal beliefs or societal beliefs that we have that will keep us from expressing our rage because we might feel like we're going to say something really, really bad, about a person. We might go there, and we might be afraid to go there. So you can try to go there on something very simple, like maybe the person who got your order wrong at the drive-thru, or maybe about a frustrating project you're working on at work. So maybe something smaller or pettier than your problem that you have with your sister from the trauma you had from growing up with her in your childhood. something major, or or an abusive parent, or if you was a victim of a crime somehow. Instead of maybe tackling something big at first, if you're having problems really expressing your rage on the subject, start with small and petty things. So rage on a page, for me personally, is a very great tool for getting me unstuck when I'm really feeling rageful, angry, resentful, any kind of strong negative feeling I just can't kick. And I normally do it in the morning. So what I do is I put my binaural music on my headsets. I normally do 10 minutes of stream of conscious writing. I no longer do it on a subject. Then what I do after that, which is also from Gabby Bernstein, is I go ahead and I meditate. So I meditate about as long or longer than the time I spent writing. So she recommends 20 minutes of writing, 20 minutes of meditation. And in the meditation, you just allow yourself to feel the feelings that you were feeling that came up during your rage on the page. And for what she is saying, the reason for this is a lot of times we suppress feelings because we think those feelings are impermissible. So whether it's a societal reason, a cultural reason, because a personal thing that you just don't want to express this because you think it's wrong somehow, you just don't express your rage. So in not expressing your rage, you suppress it, which then becomes a problem because it's still there. The rage is still there. It's just right under the surface. It's right there. And it starts to actually grow when you really suppress it. So the point of the rage of the page is to basically let it out. Let it go. Let it flow. You might say some crazy shit in the page that you would never think yourself. Or you might find yourself feeling ways about certain people or certain things that you didn't realize you felt. And so then when those feelings come up, you might stop yourself like, whoa, oh, don't want to go there, Oh, I just called my mom a bitch. Oh no, I gotta stop writing right now. I want to do what to who? I'm not like that. I'm not violent like that. So you'll be surprised at the stuff. It's almost like it's not you writing. It's very weird. But if you do decide to rage on a page, definitely let it out. Just let it all out. And that's why she recommends start something petty. And then, yes, do your meditation afterwards and allow yourself to feel those feelings. Allow yourself to feel those feelings so you can let them go. And that's the idea. Another warning about rage on a page, it can be very triggering. And sometimes when we get triggered, we can be very slow to cool. So be careful about what you are going to trigger and when you're going to trigger it, because it could take a long time to cool down. And if you really find yourself at a point where rage on a page is triggering you hard and you're going through your whole day messed up, you might want to, honestly, and I'm being honest, seek professional help. Seek a therapist, psychiatrist, something to help you through those emotions. Don't just try to take those on your own. Okay, so rage on the page. We also have scripting, just regular old journaling. Those are the things that I've been experimenting with recently. Um, Also, I'm reading this new book, well, listening to this new book. Um, the book's actually been out since the late 90s, I believe. It's called The Artist's Way. And one of the things the book recommends is you do something called daily pages. So, daily pages is pretty much similar to, it's kind of an in between normal journaling and rage on a page. So, basically, the idea of this practice is to allow your inner self or your inner artist, as she describes it, to the author, that is, of the book, The Artist's Way, to allow your inner self to express itself. And it's going to first do so by clearing the wreckage of the icky, ugly, routine stuff that's going on in your head, the mediocre stuff. So it's stream of conscious writing, but it's not for any specific reason. It's just, you're just writing whatever. You're just not going to think about it, just start writing. And she says to do 3 pages. I'll do that if I have time, but if I don't have time, I'll just time myself for how much time I have, and if I do 3 pages, great. Normally, I do it in the morning, and excuse me, and I'll do 5 minutes. So many pages I fill in 5 minutes, many pages I fill in 5 minutes. Normally about 2 pages within 5 minutes. So then you just write, and just write. You might write the most silliest, most ridiculous, nonsensical stuff, which is what I write. She was saying you might end up writing stuff just about your things you got to do today at first, like, oh, I gotta do the laundry, and then I gotta pick up my daughter from school later on, and then no big deal stuff, and then you might just find yourself talking about how the neighbor annoys you or something like that, and you might find it pointless. She said it might be a while before you start to really get to the nitty gritty of what's blocking you, because the idea of this type of journaling is to, well, it's specifically supposed to be for unblocking blocked artists, helping artists tune into the inner artist, their inner child, their inner being, where all creativity comes from, and being able to have a dialogue with that part of you. That's the point of it. But I think anyone can use this kind of daily pages, as she writes it, for anyone who's just feeling blocked. Where you're feeling blocked in your career, you're feeling blocked in your physique and your fitness routines, where you're feeling blocked in your vocation, whatever it is. I think daily pages can help you. I really do. I've only been doing it for a small while now, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks at the most. But I can tell you it does work. Matter of fact, it's replaced my normal journaling. And I write the most goofiest, weirdest stuff. And then, like, some of the stuff I was writing didn't make sense to me. It's almost like I was speaking in code. But then when I reread what I wrote, it's like, oh, I get what that means. And some of the stuff I wrote was pretty bizarre, weird, and personal. So I won't be sharing it here. Very personal. But it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So it's for really unlocking you. And for as an artist, but I think it could be used in all things in your life. All right, that's pretty much it. That's what I've been doing in the meantime. I would probably say Rage on a Page is an incredibly effective tool to use seldomly once you're really feeling that block. But I think you should routinely do a normal journaling. And I think you should also do either that and or not scripting, but pages, daily pages, stream of conscious writing. I believe that's really, really, really pertinent. Now, regarding scripting, scripting been recommended to me by a couple of people, including Natasha, to do it when you want to do it, when you're feeling it, when you're feeling that energy. Because that's the idea. It's for you to feel the energy and to feel the state of being that you would be in if you had the thing that you want, versus you always noticing that you don't have it. This is what we normally do. And if you believe in law of attraction at all, that's a great way of pushing away what you want, is by noticing that you don't have the thing that you want. So it puts you into a negative space, which allows you to be in a negative frequency, which you put out there. You reverberate this negative frequency, this negative vibration, which reverberates to all things around you and creates your reality. So this helps you to create the reality that you want. That's what scripting's about. Normal journaling is just normal journaling. It's a good way to know yourself, to see your routines, your daily routines, see what's bothering you, see when you're doing good, see what you're doing bad. A great book to read on normal journaling is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Great freaking book. I don't care if it's written by an actor. Great book. Lots of great insights. definitely recommend it, especially if you're interested in normal journaling, because his his memoirs basically was his journal, stuff that he collected from his journals, and it's brilliant. And he really gives you good insight on how to, I would say, properly journal in both good times and bad times. Because one thing he was saying was that we tend to normally only journal during the bad times. During the good times, we put the journal down. So he made a point to also journal through his good times to see what he was doing right at those times versus the times when he's not feeling that great. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me as always. May you find your balanced path between the metaphysical and the physical, rather the practical, to your own inner wellness. Thank you as always. I love you.